Hi Aries, welcome. Thanks for tuning into my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Aries for this coming week. Today is August 5th. This is a general love reading, and that means that it can apply to anything, relationships or otherwise. Also, remember to be flexible with the energy. Don't be overly concerned about the gender of the cards or the pronouns I'm using to describe them. You can mix and match the roles within the reading, and that means that you can be represented by any of the characters that shows up in the cards. Parts of this reading may resonate for you and other parts may not. So take what does and leave what doesn't. I hope by the time you finish watching this, you feel like you have something that's beneficial and helpful to you. Okay, Aries, so we're going to get started here in a couple more shuffles. Carmilla's here. She's hanging out. Sylvester's here. He's in the living room. So I'm going to give this deck one more shuffle, and then we'll be ready to go for Aries for this coming week. Here we go. So we're going to start off with the High Priestess in reverse, paired with the Page of Swords in reverse, Four of Pentacles, the Fool in reverse, Four of Cups, Five of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, and then we have the Hermit. So Aries, from this first set of cards, I've got the sense that you're kind of laying low right now. Feels like you're avoiding the chaos around you, or you're kind of trying to ignore it. Feels like you're not very trusting right now. You might be a little skeptical or not necessarily trusting what you're hearing, actions of other people, that kind of thing. I just get the sense that Aries is laying low, keeping to yourself, kind of just observing and watching what's going on around you, and being very cautious. Keeping to yourself. Let's get some more cards out here and see what else is going on for Aries. Seven of Swords, Nine of Cups, Ace of Cups, Knight of Swords in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, Eight of Pentacles, Four of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Hermit in reverse, clarifying the Hermit. So I can see why Aries might be kind of laying low, keeping to yourself, maybe kind of trying to avoid interacting, getting involved. Feels like there might be some deception or some shenanigans going on around you, Aries. It feels a little chaotic. This could be a workplace situation. Feels like there could be a lot of arguing and fighting, or at least heated debate. And again, I feel like Aries, for some reason, you're just kind of laying low, trying to stay out of the thick of things, trying to avoid the chaos, keeping to yourself. It might be that you're trying to figure something out, or maybe you're trying to uncover some truth or see the reality through it all. But I do feel like there's some chaotic energy around you. Again, this could be in the form of arguments, could be in the form of debate, could be in the form of competition or fighting, or just some contention. It could, again, be around the workplace. Or it could be related to finances and money. But I feel, Aries, that you've got this really strong sense of feeling cautious, maybe overly so, maybe even feeling a little bit uncertain. Things are unstable right now, so I'm just going to keep my distance and observe and absorb the information and maybe try to come to terms with things on my own without getting involved. Which is smart thinking, Aries, if this is the kind of energy that's around you. Feel like you're keeping to yourself, laying low, and staying out of trouble. I think you can see that things are unstable right now, uncertain. And your best bet, Aries, is to just stay out of it. Keep your distance. And watch and observe. Let's get some more cards out here for Aries and see what else is going on. Knight of Wands again. This time in the upright position. The Lovers in reverse. Five of Pentacles in reverse. Four of Swords. Page of Cups in reverse. Ten of Swords. Five of Cups in reverse. And then Ten of Pentacles. So Aries, this is kind of an interesting message because it feels a little bit scattered. It doesn't feel like it's focused on one particular person. It feels like it's energy surrounding you. It feels like it involves many people. And it feels like it involves a situation where there's a lot of different opinions. A lot of people maybe speaking without thinking, making poor choices or poor decisions in the heat of the moment. Every man for himself. There's very little cooperation. This could be a family dynamic or group dynamic. It could be related to a job or workplace environment with coworkers and colleagues. But I feel, Aries, that you might be kind of in this position where you're kind of on the outside looking in, or you're choosing that position. You are, again, keeping your distance, laying low. And in this state of kind of just hanging back in the background, waiting for things to calm down. I don't feel like they are. I don't feel like they're calming down. It's hard to tell what this is pertaining to. But I do feel deception with the Seven of Swords out here, Page of Swords in reverse. There could be some lying, gossiping, tall tales or false stories, false narratives. There is this energy of needing to kind of step away and observe and absorb so that you can determine where the truth is in this mess of other crap. It feels a little bit like the political climate of today, if I'm being honest. A lot of the stuff that's going on out there, the current events that we're dealing with, the protests, the coming election. It feels a little like that. Very unsettled, very uncertain. Lots of people giving their 2 cents. Let's get some more cards out here and see if I can't get anything else more specific for you, Aries. The Hanged Man. Ace of Wands. Four of Pentacles again. Three of Pentacles in reverse. The Fool, again, but this time in the upright. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Death. And the Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like there could be unfair treatment. Feels like people are picking sides. There's this promise that things are going to calm down and things are going to be better, but you know that's not true. There's almost this urgency to make decisions or come to terms with things or determine guilt or who's at fault. But it's being done in a hasty manner. It's like people are pointing fingers without anything to back up their accusations. There's a resistance to work together. Aries, I don't know what kind of situation you're in. This could apply to probably a number of different scenarios, and I'm really trying to pinpoint what this feels like more than anything, and I'm having trouble with that. But there is an energy, and I feel like this is your energy, Aries, of someone who's just kind of sitting back, laying low, observing, doing a lot of watching and listening. Instead of participating in the chaos where you could potentially be triggered, or in the heat of the moment say something that you regret, or do something you regret, or make a choice or a decision that you regret. Because I don't feel like there's a lot of structure or organization or leadership going on here. It feels very unsettling. And I am having a hard time, Aries, pinpointing what this could be, except that there is an indication on the table that it could be workplace related. It could be a family situation or family dynamic, something going on within the home where people aren't getting along. But it feels like there's some significant decisions that need to be made. And with the energy that's on the table and the level of disagreements and inability to get along, I don't think that there's any significant decisions being made. And then, of course, we have the deceit and the potential, lies, and the people playing games, trying to get away with shit. Because this is the kind of environment or situation where you would be able to do that, right? People are responding emotionally. It feels like there could be a lot of, again, disagreements. People getting triggered. Almost an unwillingness or refusal to get along or compromise. Let's get this last round out, Aries, see what else we can get. I'm not showing you any of the combinations of cards in this reading, and I was aware that I wasn't doing that early on. And part of it is these cards, this is probably one of the biggest messes I've ever seen. And if I were to show you combinations of the cards, you'd be like, well, how did she get that off of those cards? I'm getting this information kind of off of the entire set. And so for me to show you specific cards may not make sense. And that's why I haven't been doing that. Also, if I start showing cards and trying to adhere specific meanings to specific sets of cards, I might throw off my own interpretation of what's going on. So that's why I haven't. But I will if I see anything that kind of makes sense, that sticks out to me. So let's get this last round out. We have 7 of Wands, the Empress, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords in reverse, Knight of Cups, Three of Swords in reverse, Ten of Swords again, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, Aries, so the only energy I have that really sticks out as a specific person in all this mess and this chaos is the Empress energy that just came out, and this feels like your energy. And I want to remind all of my viewers that if you are a male viewer, you can embody the Empress energy. The Empress energy is someone who's very nurturing, wise, compassionate. She knows what's up. She's in control. She's grounded. She's got experience under her belt. And I feel like this person is feeling very defensive, or again, kind of stepping back out of the chaos and in this observation mode. And I think that you're waiting for an opening. You're waiting, Aries, for that potential opening to step in when the moment is right. where it looks like things are starting to settle down, where maybe you can start again or start over or start fresh, where people are more willing to listen, more willing to hear each other, more willing to compromise because they're getting tired of the chaos and the arguing and the fighting. I feel like, Aries, this is your energy, and this is the energy of somebody who knows when it's time to step away from the chaos, from the ridiculousness, because there's a lot of ridiculousness going on here. I don't know what this is, but people are just simply not willing to work together. There's a lot of people spouting off at the mouth, saying things they really don't mean because they haven't thought it through. And I feel the sense that Aries is just kind of waiting for the dust to settle and waiting for the chaos to end so that things can be rebuilt. It's almost like watching a demolition of a building. Things start to crumble and fall, and there's this noise and dust and chaos. You can't make heads or tails of what's going on. You just have to wait for everything to settle, for the dust to settle, for the debris. Stay back because you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get involved in that, right? You don't want to get in the middle of that. All I can say, Aries, with what I'm looking at here is I can tell the energy that's surrounding you. Again, this could be work or family related. There's definitely a large group of people involved. So this could be, and this could be representing something that you're involved with on a larger scale. If you are involved in, you know, some of the stuff that's going on out there in the world related to, you know, politics or current events that we're dealing with. That could be what I'm looking at here. But it's nice to see, Aries, that within all this chaos, there's at least one voice of reason who's kind of laying low and staying quiet right now and waiting for the dust to settle before you dip your toe into the water. Because right now, it's a hurricane going on out there. It's impossible for me to tell even specific energies who might be causing the problems versus the people who are in the right. It feels impossible to even identify that. It feels very chaotic. And both sides could be involved in the mayhem. It doesn't have to be one side is wrong and one side is right, that kind of thing. But Aries, stick to your guns. Don't get impatient. Don't lose your cool. Don't jump the gun. Hang on tight. I think that things are going to calm down eventually. I mean, they always do. And then you can get back on track. And hopefully, have a fresh start. Maybe with the help of people such as yourself who've been able to gain a clear perspective of the situation as it is, as it stands, because you've been kind of observing rather than participating, and maybe done some soul searching and some critical thinking, and been able to come to terms with things to a point where when things do settle, Aries can step in and say, okay, now let's get down to business and fix this shit. Because now that we're all done acting like children, or treating each other even worse than children would treat each other, Now that we're done with that crap, maybe we can get down to business and fix this shit, says Aries. Good for you, Aries. I wouldn't put up with this crap. Honestly, it feels like a bunch of imbeciles that you're dealing with. I hate to say that, but it's true. It's true. There are a bunch of imbeciles, Aries. I don't know who you're dealing with here. I wouldn't want to put up with this shit. Keep me out of this. No, thank you. If you're resonating with this reading, it feels like it almost feels like a really, really general reading where it could apply to a lot of different situations. At the same time, I can't imagine how many people are putting up with this kind of energy. It really is a kind of an odd reading, if I'm being totally honest, Aries. So I'm going to take this card that popped out, and we've got Perception in Reverse. I have not pulled this card in a very long time. I think that it's probably going to apply nicely to this reading. So I'm going to read this. It's in reverse, so it's a potential blockage. And we'll read this out of the Dreams of Gaia tarot book. And then we're going to call it a day for Aries and wrap this up. So Perception 21. Reversal is just about, where is it? Oh, it's actually pretty long. It's about a page and a half. And I'm doing really good on time, so I'll display the card for you in the upright. Here we go, Aries. Hang on. When the perception card appears reversed, it asks that you check to make sure that your perception is not false. Have you ever had a moment when you believed you smelled onions cooking only to discover that there was no source for the aroma? That is a false perception. The same thing can occur when your mind is full of chatter and has you believing that another person does not like you or is harboring a particular opinion of you. Be careful that you are not imposing a false perception that others think or feel a particular way about you, when in fact the perception that you have is a self-perception. Do your best not to allow assumptions to be the foundation of your perception when it comes to your interactions with others. If you have doubts or concerned about the nature of your relationships with the people around you, the best course of action is to ask. That way there is no need to feed stress and worry with what ifs and maybes. The saying, never judge a book by its cover, holds real wisdom, and yet we so often do judge and define things by what we see or read or experience, even when the knowledge offered is, in reality, only the cover. All too often, we never actually open the book. In fact, we may be unable to open the book because our minds are incapable of conceiving, let alone understanding what lies within. We look at the cover, read the blurb on the back, and may believe we have all the answers when we don't. But we are the book. The person we present to the world is the cover and sometimes the blurb. Friends and family will be offered the contents and a synopsis, but only you know the full story. If you want people to have a more accurate perception of who you are, then make it a point to share the story of you honestly, without embellishment. Then the cover and blurb will accurately represent who you are and make it clear that there is far more for those who are willing to take the time to read the book. In turn, understand that you cannot know the full stories of those around you, and sometimes the cover and the blurb are very different to the contents within, because the author of the story has fears, doubts, and troubles that they are afraid to reveal. Do what you can to open your mind and open that book, even if you only make it to the contents page or the index, and see that there is so much more within than you can imagine. When perception is reversed, release your belief that you know everything about a particular situation or circumstance, or what motivates another's actions. Even let go of the belief that just because something is deemed fact makes it an absolute. Why? Because all you have to do is look back at history to see the number of facts that have changed over the centuries as new knowledge came to light. Consider the idea that when we believe that we know something completely and that what we believe is an absolute certainty, we may in fact know very little. Finally, remember that you are more than what remember that you are more than what others perceive you to be, and in turn, those around you are more than what you perceive them to be. The perception card reverse asks that you do not base your reality on false perceptions born of limited knowledge and understanding. Well, I thought that fit nicely into this reading because I think that's what you're doing, Aries. I think that instead of jumping to conclusions taking people at their word, especially in a situation like this. You step back, you decided to observe what's going on, think about it, absorb it, analyze it to come up with the answers so that you're more clear about what you're witnessing. And if you are participating in this, you know, stick to your guns and be true to who you are, Aries. And don't be tempted to jump in and behave in the manner that others are behaving, speak in the manner that others are speaking, and avoid getting triggered, and avoid making those emotional decisions, emotional reactions based on feelings in the moment. Which, you know, if I'm being honest, I feel like that's what you're doing. So stick with it, whatever's going on for you, Aries. I hope that this reading resonated. I hope that it was helpful. It was definitely an interesting reading. Very, very different than one I've ever seen. I would love to hear from you if you did resonate with this, to hear what your story is. So if you feel like leaving a comment, that's great. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, Aries, and I'll see you next time. Bye.